what's up guys, Nico here, and this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, since I've kind of been getting back into the grind of Evillious Chronicles, and I've recently been checking out the original Sin story, and one of the songs in there is just one that, it's, well, all I can say is, remember when, one of my past Evillious videos when I said that, that, Daughter of Evil or Servant of Evil was, my favorite song? Excuse me. Well, you know what? I take that back. Project Ma is my new favorite song in Evillious Chronicles. It sounds good, it's so energetic, and I also love the cameos of Meta Sulfamer as the witch, and as well as Levi and Behemo. Oh yeah, and also, it's just a really good sounding song, and I like all the characters that are in there, like Adam and Eve and Seth. But the two characters that, really hit home for me are Adam and Eve, who are, of course, inspired by, Adam and Eve from, the Garden of Eden and Genesis. And also, I gotta say, I like the ship, okay? It's a controversial take, I know. You're free to unsubscribe right now. Oh, wait, I'm getting a notification on my phone. Yeah, it looks like I lost all my subscribers. But anyways, so, look, I get it. It's a controversial ship, I know, and it's one of the most looked down ships in the entirety of Evillious. But let me explain. So, I get it. People, hate the ship for two reasons. And now I'm gonna be honest. Yes, one of those reasons I also don't like. But the first reason is that Adam's a manipulator. Yes, I get it. He used the venom poison to mind control Eve so that she could become part of Project Ma, in order to become the Alphate, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let's just call her Ma. Because, it's of course the acronym for that. So, yeah, I get it. He's a manipulator, and he's also the reason why Eve is basically broken. And I get it. And now, before I get to the next, issue that people have with this ship, I want to kind of talk about the characters a little bit. So, first off, we got Adam, who's played by Kaito, and is of course kind of like the rival, or not like a friendly rival, but more of two people who just incredibly hate each other, rivalry. He of course dislikes Seth because of course he was the one who separated him from his own mother at birth, and also they kind of bicker a bit even in the afterlife when Adam possesses the Marlon spoon and Seth possesses the Grim the End. And they of course always argued, and also Adam's also the greatest scientist in the world, which is a title that's later stolen from him by Seth after Adam disappeared into the Held Forest. And now Adam of course met Eve and brought her into Project Ma, where he of course manipulated her, but after Cain and Abel, the two unborn twins that are supposed to be held by Eve died, he realized, oh my god, I love this woman, and so he of course ran away with her. Then there's of course Eve, who is also known as the original sinner, and becomes the demon of sloth, and goes on to basically reincarnate into every single Miku character you can think of in Evillious. Are you thinking of Michaela? Or what about Margarita Blankenham, the sin of sloth? Yep, that's Eve. Any other characters like Platonic or Makulia? Yep, that's also Eve. There we go. So yeah, which kind of brings to a quick thing that I want to say. Remember my concept for a Fortnite Evillious Chronicles crossover event, with the Daughter of Evil? Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a part 2 on that someday. We're gonna bring in all the other characters, like, you know, like Ceterius, Nemesis, Adam and Eve, of course, Seth, who's gonna be like an overarching villain. Like all those characters. But look, I'm getting a bit like really off topic here, so let's get back to Eve. So of course, due to, you know, losing her father after he was killed, and, you know, losing Cain and Abel, she later went insane. Then in Moonlit Bear, well, like before Moonlit Bear, like when Cain and Abel died, she went into denial and thought that her kids were instead missing. Like, no, they're dead. But of course, Eve's like, nah, bro, you stupid. They're of course missing. And Adam is like, okay, man, let's just run away together, get married in Hell Forest, and live a happy life together. But then in Moonlit Bear, you know, Eve kind of, you know, sees like this bear and like fruits who are actually just meant of a self-harmer witch, and I said something very, very terrible here, self-harmer witch. And of course, the apples are actually her own children, Hansel and Gretel, who are of course inspired by, you know, the classic tale of Hansel and Gretel, and like, you know, the house that's made of candy and shit like that, which also leads into, you know, another thing, which I'm going to talk about later, but very soon. So of course in Moonlit Bear, she steals the kids and uses the Marlon spoon to, you know, kill the self-harmer witch. And then when she returns to Adam, Adam is like, bitch, what are you doing? Those are kids. And then when Eve comes to her senses and sees that she kidnapped the self-harmer witch's kids, she's like, oh no, these are actually my kids. Hey, Cain. Hey, Abel. Long time no see. And so, of course, Adam's like, holy shit, my wife committed a heinous crime, you know, I'm gonna cover it up. And so, you know, Adam and Eve decide to raise the kids as their own until like a famine comes to us, like a war. And so Adam's like, okay, we're gonna have to abandon these children in the woods if we're gonna survive. And so they do, but then the kids later come back, and they're like, nah, man, we about to dip. We about to find our original parents. Yeah. And so they, of course, kill Eve, who they call the witch, by burning her in, like, the fireplace, which is, of course, reminiscent to how Hansel and Gretel killed the wicked witch over in the original Hansel and Gretel storyline. Or story. Oh, yeah, and Adam is killed by an elderly Seth Twilight. And Seth, of course, you know, accepts this fate as karma because, I mean, yeah. So then we get to, of course, you know, something that I've been teasing for the entirety of the video. The second reason why people hate the ship. It's a sibling ship. Yep, Adam and Eve are siblings, who were separated by birth, and now, to their credit, of course, they didn't know that they were siblings at all, and thought that they were just two people who, like, weren't related by blood. Which, I mean, sure. Also, can we quickly talk about why Mafi, the creator of the Evillious Chronicles series, who also goes by Akuno P, like, whenever he finds a plot point in the story that needs him explaining, he's like, incest. Like, okay, man, it's starting to get to the point where you got a bit of a problem, man. Like, we got Eluka Clockworker, her having sex with her own son, we've got other stuff, and all I can say is, bitch, what are you doing? Like, I still enjoy the series, but I mean, there's way too much family member stuff going on to be like, okay, what? Like, if there are two people who aren't related by blood, like, sure, by all means, go knock yourself out in bed with a significant other. But if it's two people who are blood really related, I'm like, okay, no. So anyways, we're 8 minutes in, so I'm already going to talk about why I created this video. It's to talk about a new AU that I'm making. Yes, I'm kind of an AU guy. I make a lot of AUs that center around shit like Fortnite and Danganronpa and Yokai Watch and other shit like that, and also Project Sekai as well. It's Vocaloid. And this is going to be another Vocaloid AU, where it's basically the original Sin storyline, except for 3 things I'm going to change. Number 1 is going to be that it's the biggest one. Adam and Eve aren't going to be siblings. Instead, they're going to be 2 twins adopted by their mother, like the queen of this place. I forgot her name. Queen Moonlit, we're going to call her that. And then they of course get separated, and then Seth comes and is like, oh, sup Eve, and then turns us on her and stuff or shit like that. Basically the same, except they're instead adopted and they're not biological siblings, which is good. So that clears that out. And then there's number 2, which is basically when Adam meets Eve, he immediately falls in love with her and also confesses his feelings, and also asks her to be part of the Project Moth thing without giving her the venom poison. And thus, she consents to it by her own merit instead of being affected by poison, which actually didn't have any effect in the first place. And thus, a bunch of stuff happens. So Eve is also going to still be broken up, except and Adam's still going to feel guilt because, I mean, he's the one who gave the idea to bring her to this experiment. So he, of course, is still going to feel guilt, except a lot less guilt because he didn't manipulate her. They, of course, still have their, wedding in the Hallowed Forest. Eve, of course, kidnaps the kids of the Self-Armor Witch. The witch dies. They raise the kids as their own. But here comes number 3. They don't abandon the kids. Instead, they are able to ration out their food and are able to be smart so that they don't starve during the famine. And due to this, they don't die at the hands of Hansel and Gretel. I mean, they're still gonna die, but at least, I'm still gonna see it as karma except for a different reason. The karma is because he, of course, kidnapped the children of the Self-Armor Witch. Instead of, manipulating Eve and other terrible shit. I mean, kidnapping someone else's children is still horrible, but yeah, I'm gonna stop talking. So yeah, which basically jumpstarts all the other events of Evillious Chronicles. But at least Adam and Eve is gonna be a happier relationship because of these changes. So it's not really too much of an AU. I mean, I guess it kind of is, because AUs are basically alternate universes where things are changed. And I changed some things in this to make the Adam and Eve relationship much happier. And this is my ideal version of the Adam and Eve relationship. I mean, I never really had too much of an issue with, Adam being, manipulative because it, adds more to his character. Because having a character that has no flaws, it can be kind of boring since there's no character development. So having Adam, gain all of his character development, turning him into a much better person who's going to redeem himself in order to make Eve happy, it's good character development. But I decided to take that out of my AU because a lot of people seem to have an issue with it, and I was also kind of curious to see what an Adam and Eve relationship without the manipulativeness stuff, I was kind of curious to see what that is. So yeah. And okay, there's a bit of a controversial opinion, but I never really had too much of an issue with the Adam and Eve being biological siblings, as I decided to just ignore that aspect because I still wanted to enjoy the ship. And also, if I were in the Adam and Eve storyline, I was also a character in it who knew that they were siblings, I would be like, you know what, I'm just going to not tell them about that. They're having their little fun. I'm not going to ruin it. And also, I just want to forget about that because that is creepy as hell. So it has gone on for 14 minutes, which is longer than I expected. So I'm just gonna leave it off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely have some more videos I want to make in the future with commentary. Like, there's gonna be a no commentary, you know, like part 2 to the Fortnite, you know, crossover fan made thing. However, there is gonna be some more, you know, talking stuff with, like, you know, my Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal deck list for Jade and Yuki. There's also gonna be like some more Danganronpa Jam, as well as, you know, the Evillious Chronicles X Yokai Watch thing that I'm gonna be working on someday. There might also be a series involving Yu-Gi-Oh! And I will one day, of course, get back to, you know, making Yokai Watch looking at the same night sky. But not for a little while. Or more like a long while, because I'm still working on my other series. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.
おやすみ、眠り姫。
これは始まりの物語。何からか食べばいいかね。僕の名前はセトトワイライト。この国で一番の科学者。カインとアベルは失敗。アダムとイブは消えた。次のネムはレフを探さなければならない。僕の野望を叶えるために。